It's all lies. Doug Ford lies. He lies, he lies, he lies. And that's why he wants to take away our rights to find out exactly what he's doing.
Ultimately, what he is up to is our business, and we have a right to know because we elected him.
Hi, I'm Andrea with Stripper News. We're here at the Fight Ford rally at Queen's Park to ask people how they feel about the proposed changes to the Freedom of Information laws. You've probably heard a lot about FOI, Ford's overwhelming incompetence. But FOI also stands for Freedom of Information, something you have a right to as a tax-paying citizen. You see, when elected government officials text each other, call each other, send each other emails, those communications are actually public property because we, the people, pay their salaries. Anyone can file an FOI request to access public information, including you. Yes, you. But the people who request information the most? Journalists. FOIs are really important because they're one of the only tools we have to challenge government narratives. FOIs are the reason we know more about the Greenbelt scandal, the redevelopment of Ontario Place, Ontario's bike lane removals, the closure of Ontario Science Centre, the overcrowded state of Ontario jails, government spending on ads, Metrolinx delays on the Eglinton Crosstown, the Skills Development Slush Fund, and so much more. But that all could change because Dougie insists on using his personal phone for government business, an act that the Information and Privacy Commissioner ruled was a deliberate attempt to avoid transparency laws. Hi. I'm here with Stripper News. Do you want to talk?
Sure.
Let me get my titties out. We're doing a piece specifically on the Freedom of Information laws.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Are you Team Ford or you're Team Anti-Ford?
Team Anti-Ford, yes.
Okay.
Definitely Team Anti-Ford and everything that he's doing to our public lands, to our schools and funding for students. That sucks. And the Science Centre, which I live in Scarborough, the roof is still standing. So what the heck is he talking about?
Love your sign.
Thank you.
We're particularly interested in this episode of Stripper News in the Freedom of Information laws. And so much of the information we know, especially around Ontario Place and around the Ontario Science Centre, has been revealed through Freedom of Information laws.
So I'm very supportive of that, of freedom of information and being transparent.
Yes, where Doug Ford is trying to hide what he's doing. It's just not fair. It doesn't make sense, right? Like, how come he gets it, right? I mean, like, we should be moving towards more transparency instead of he's literally like in our faces trying to be like, no, not mine.
Truly in our faces.
Yeah, like right in our faces. Like, are we dumb or something? Like, he must think we are or something, right? Because, like...
How do you feel about the Freedom of Information laws, and why do you think they're important?
Freedom of information, I mean, that's the first thing that autocrats and fascists try to stifle and put down. I'm looking at the importance of satirical press right now in terms of leading popular movements, and they have. No, seriously.
Well, why are Freedom of Information laws important?
Well, they're a cornerstone of our democracy, unfortunately, because a lot of governments aren't forthcoming, and it requires people to resort to freedom of information laws or access, and once they take that away, then it's game over.
Why are Freedom of Information laws so important?
Because it is one of the cornerstones of democracy. If governments are allowed to do whatever they want, they will be self-serving and not be for the people. Government should be representatives of people who elected them. And the sad thing about Doug Ford is that a very small proportion of Ontarians voted. Please stop being apathetic. He is destroying Ontario. And it just shocks me that people still support him because to me, he is a monster.
Did you know that Martin Luther was a satirist?
Of the famous Protestant...
Reformation, yes. So that's how he got his message out to the people.
By starting an alternative church.
Well, but also using pamphlets and the Gutenberg press in order to disseminate his message. In terms of freedom of information in this context, in Toronto with Doug Ford, I had to be careful as to which Ford it is. By the way, you know he was a hash dealer, right?
Oh, I'm very aware of that.
Yes. He was smart enough to stop at the age of 22, but anyhow, that's a separate discussion. But the whole thing is of shutting down access to information. It is crucial that there be transparency because we, the people, have that right to know what is being said behind these closed doors.
Actually, more FOI requests come from individuals and universities and not from journalists, contrary to what Doug Ford would say. And I think most Ontarians are pretty upset about this, and we're smart enough to understand the implications.
Yeah, the implications are huge when we consider how much we know about what Ford is actually doing because of freedom of information requests.
That's right, and he wants to make it retroactive so that he can cover up his dirty dealings, presumably. It's like his own version of the Epstein files, although it's all his lies about what he's selling off in our province, I guess. One has to assume he's trying to cover up something big.
It's so blatant, and it's so obvious what he's trying to do that it's kind of like, it's like mad, like what is going on? Like, how is this happening?
Truly. And when you think about all of the information that we know about the Ford government because of freedom of information.
Thanks to that, right? We elect them. Our taxpayers pay for them. They are our employees. We should know what they're up to, right? I mean,
Doug Ford has said that the threat that he's protecting Ontario.
It's all lies. Doug Ford lies. He lies, he lies, he lies. And that's why he wants to take away our rights to find out exactly what he's doing.
Corruption, cronyism, not certainly doing what we need for Ontario.
So what do you think Doug Ford's legacy is going to be?
Probably destroying Ontario Place. I don't know if you drive past it, but I drive past it regularly, and it is flat now, and he cut down hundreds of trees, and it's devastating every single time. So I think that'll be his legacy.
And what about the waterfront?
I live on the waterfront. I live directly across from Billy Bishop Airport, and if he expands the airport and lets jets land there, it is going to destroy our waterfront. And that is unacceptable, in my opinion.
What do you think Doug Ford's legacy is going to be?
Honestly, I worry that he is putting this into place because he thinks he is going to be the next king of Ontario. I've heard he's even training his family to be politicians to take over from access to taxpayer dollars. And let's face it, the deficit is growing and it's ridiculous. Even conservative governments are opposed to what he's doing to freedom of information and are opposed to his fantasy fiscal budget. Like, honestly, this tunnels under the 401, how many people would die doing that? Like filling in Lake Ontario for a convention? What's wrong with the convention center we already have? He's ridiculous.
So I'm particularly interested in the freedom of information laws and how Doug Ford is using his personal cell phone instead of his provided work phone to conduct government business. What do you think he's trying to hide?
oh my God, I don't know. I mean, like, probably criminal evidence. Probably criminal activity, honestly, I feel like.
He can go out, probably pay for lunches or whatever, because I know I used to work for the city. I'm retired now. But everybody had a cell phone that was important, that needed a cell phone for whatever. And it should be. And with Freedom of Information Act, they still go through everything they're going to hand over to make sure they're not giving somebody else's personal information away. So that's bullshit. And if he can't afford a phone, then he should just resign, in my opinion, and his ministers, because he wants to cover them as well.
Oh, lots. He's definitely in the business of bolstering his rich friends and doing that in any way he possibly can, and I think that's behind everything that he's doing. So it's for personal gain, it's for the gain of his rich cronies, and it's not for the people. It's truly, truly not.
Well, I know more the American context, that kind of information is designed to be part of the public record. I'm not sure if that's something that is done here in Ontario.
It is.
Well, there you go. Stripper News is giving me education on political information. You gotta like that.
You gotta like it. But Doug Ford is obviously looking to challenge that.
Well, no, it's not a challenge. It's a fait accompli. The thing about Canadian politics is that if you have a massive mandate, you essentially have a dictatorship for the period of your election mandate.
The Third Reich.
Precisely. And let me explain why I'm here is because my grandfather was a political activist, and as soon as Hitler came to power, he was thrown in a concentration camp because he was lefty, and they were the only ones who were organized enough in order to oppose Hitler. So it's in my blood. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we already know that he's got lots of things to hide. So if this goes through as it is, and to be quite honest with you, I'm shocked that our laws are allowing this to happen because it's a complete erosion of democracy. So he can continue to take taxpayers' dollars and give it to private business. And the fact is that even the London School of Economics says trickle-down economics do not work. The rich just get richer and the people die. This is a fascist government and it needs to be stopped dead in its tracks.
R.I.P. Surely he can afford a phone.
Well, I would think so. He's one of the more richer families in this country.
And if he's using his personal phone for government business, that means that the taxpayers are paying for his personal phone.
Yes, and maybe that's why. Maybe he figured he didn't want to pay for it. He and his brother started with the city and about how they were going to clean up everything. He's made it 10 times worse. And in my opinion, it's got to change. It's got to start with us.
Remember that trial that Rob Ford was in with the whole conflict of interest thing? I feel like he's trying to avoid something like that. Because it's really obvious that there's a conflict of interest happening. The conflict is he's interested in himself instead of the rest of us.
And making his friends rich.
Exactly, instead of us. Like, he should be making us rich.
100%.
He's working for us.
He's working for us.
He's working for us.
He's working for us. And you.
Hey, come home. Doug Ford has got to go.
And I think the next sign I'm going to bring is going to be a countdown clock for how long he's got left in office. And people have got to start fighting back.
Stripper
For news!
We're stuck with Doug Ford until 2030.
When you put it that way, it's a long time to be stuck with Doug Ford. So what do we do in the meantime? We have protests such as this, right?
Yeah.
And get the information out, which is what your point is.
I think we can do a little better than that. We can make life difficult for him before that.
I agree.
Well, I don't agree with that at all. I think it's here to stay.
What can people do to keep fighting him?
More importantly than ever, get out and vote. Any chance you can, vote, vote, vote. Every election possible. The reason he's still here is because people didn't get out and vote in the last provincial election. And if you don't vote, you can't complain, is what my grandma always said. And I think that's enormously true. So vote, vote, vote any way you can.
I do not believe that there will be midterms.
No. Third Reich Ford or Trump?
Well, Trump.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about Ford. We're stuck with Ford until 2030.
Okay, well, yes, but the political opposition is fragmented. The Liberal Party has gone the way of the federal NDP. It's important that we continue to be out here because, for one thing, it provides a sense of connection to others who are taking action. And that's what it's about, is taking action.
This is Stripper News.
Do you have any hope?
Yeah, reluctant, yes.
Come on, just say yes.
I will say yes.
I fight for my grandchildren and for the children. I'm an educator, and the children of today, the ones that aren't totally addicted to their media, give me hope for the future.
What I'm really hoping.
Satirical.
Okay. Yes, satirical publications have a way of making sure that it mobilizes the public, and it really does, especially those who are a little on the lefty liberal side, is that we drive the process.
Well, it's not dead yet.
I know, that's why I'm here. I'm not going to lie. In recent years, I have become apathetic about protesting because I worry that people like Doug Ford, unless there's thousands of people here, will just ignore us as lunatics because that's what he does. He's paternalistic, he's uneducated, and the fact that there is someone with no education controlling so much money and power in Ontario is disgusting.
Ultimately, what he is up to is our business, and we have a right to know because we elected him.
Yes.
Elected.
Elected in scare quotes?
Yeah, quotes. The voter apathy in this province is bad.
So when you say elected by a minority.
Exactly. That's the thing, right? A minority elected him to represent all of us. And that's what we're like, we can't have that.
What we need is, the 3.5% rule? That's the amount of people you need in the streets in order to affect change. So we're not quite 3.5% here, but with 3,000 No Kings movements in America and around the world, we're not the only ones. We are beginning to give that message to the people in charge that we're just not going to take it anymore.
Hell yeah. Shout out to the 3.5. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for speaking to me.
You are delightful.
Oh, stop. Do you want to give us a stripper news to the camera?
A what?
Yes, we're with stripper news.
Stripper News, unite!
Woo! He was ordered to disclose his personal phone records, which he appealed and lost twice. Instead of taking the L and following the law, Dougie's changing the law so he can evade accountability. So what's Dougie hiding? And what can Ontarians do to protect our right to freedom of information? Well, he has been known to back down under a little public pressure. Well, in 2019, Doug Ford was forced to shut down his old personal cell phone number because he received a constant barrage of text messages and a number of photos of male genitalia. You pay a cell phone bill, don't you? Thank you very much.
Now can I get a picture?
Okay, now you can get.